What is up, Coaster Conquerors? It is me, Austin, and today I am visiting Disney California Adventure in Anaheim, California, here with my girlfriend, Ariana. This is her first time ever at the Disneyland California Resort, so this will be her very first time for her. She'll also get to ride for the first time the coaster that basically made me a coaster enthusiast, which is now Incredicoaster. Are you excited for our park visit today?
Yes, I'm super excited.
Yeah, let's go. All right, y'all, now we are officially inside of the park, and I think the first thing we're gonna ride is Radiator Springs Racers. That'll be very exciting, and it will be Ariana's introduction to Cars Land. Are you excited for that?
Yep.
I really like that ride based on my last visit. I like that area of the park, so I'm really looking forward to that too. We are approaching Cars Land, approaching Radiator Springs right here. All right, now I'm about to get a ride on Radiator Springs Racers as my first ride of the day here. Just rode Radiator Springs Racers, and as I remember from last time, it was a really fun ride. When it really picks up the pace, when it's on like the race part, I feel like it goes really like quick on those like hills. Like it feels like you're launching on the hills kind of, and like through those turns it goes like pretty fast, and you're like racing the other vehicle like to the side of you, which is really cool. Ariana, what do you think of Radiator?
It's probably gonna be my favorite ride of the day, but I know I haven't been on anything else yet, but we'll see. I just loved how realistic everything looked.
Yeah, it is definitely a fun ride. One of my favorite non-coaster rides at like probably most of the Disney parks, like definitely here for sure. It's just a really fun ride.
The hills and the speeds, like when it started the racing part, that was awesome.
Yeah, same here. I feel like those were my favorite parts too. All right, now we're riding Luigi's, I think it's called Luigi's Rollicking Roadsters, if I'm not mistaken, in like the Luigi's Casa della Tires place, which is really cool. I don't remember if I did this one during my last park visit, so I'm really excited. Ariana, you excited for this little ride right here? Let's go.
This is more fun than the Disney Cup pit stop. My cousins, they are happy. Luigi is happy. Everybody, they are happy.
Just rode Luigi's Rollicking Roadsters, and the spinning was surprisingly like pretty strong on that. At first glance, it seems like a really tame ride, and it kind of is, but it's also got some decent spinning, like it almost like throws you around a bit, which is kind of funny. An interesting ride right there, even if it's a very much a family ride. What did you think of that, Ariana?
I thought it was okay. I mean, I didn't really like all the jerkiness, but it was good for the experience.
Yeah, for sure. All right, now I'm about to ride Monsters Incorporated, Mike Consoli to the rescue. Ariana's first time riding the Stark ride. Are you excited for it? Monsters Inc. ride? Let's go. Guys, these might be some W treats and snacks here, you know, trying to get the Well, drink a floor, perhaps the olive oil ride, you know, just to spice things up a bit. These look like some banger snacks right here. All right, y'all, I just rode the Monsters Inc. ride. It was an entertaining ride. I don't think it was as good as I remember. It was a very slow ride, but at least the Monsters Inc. theming was pretty cool and everything. What'd you think of that ride, love?
It's a cute little experience.
It definitely is. It's definitely a family ride, very tame ride, but it's pretty cool. All right, I'll be going on this one in a bit. This is ConqueringCoasterz here at Disney's California Adventure. Fun fact, this is actually the coaster that made me a coaster enthusiast. When I was 8 years old, I took a trip to California and rode this coaster, and it was my first ever coaster with an inversion, that vertical loop right there. So it's a really cool ride. And Ariana, this will be your first time riding the coaster that made me a coaster enthusiast. Are you excited for that?
Super excited.
Yeah, so we'll ride that in a bit. I think first though, we're gonna do this Ferris wheel here, which is pretty interesting Ferris wheel. If you know, you know. All right, I think we're actually gonna ride Silly Symphony Swings because this is a fun little chain swing ride, whatever you call it. And it appears to be a short queue time, so I'm looking forward to this. Alright, now I'm in line for the Pixar Pal Around, which, as you can see, might not be fully the traditional Ferris wheel. Ariana, are you excited for this crazy Ferris wheel ride right here? Just rode the swinging Ferris wheel here, and at first it was like a little tame. It wasn't none too crazy. But then the second half, like they stopped stopping it to load riders, and the swinging just got wild. Like it was pretty wild. We were at pretty steep angles, high above the ground. It's honestly kind of a crazy experience for a Ferris wheel. What'd you think of that, Ariana?
I thought it was fun.
It definitely was.
I think 2 rounds is good enough. I don't need a third round.
Yeah, third round would be just wild, I'm not gonna lie. All right, time to ride the coaster yet again. The coaster that made me a coaster enthusiast back like 11 years ago. ConqueringCoasterz right here. Are you excited to ride this coaster for the first time, Ariana? The most thrilling coaster in the park.
Bienvenidos al ConqueringCoasterz. Para su seguridad, les pedimos que bajen el sistema de retención hasta que cierre. Manténganse.
All right, y'all, I just rode ConqueringCoasterz, which back when I was 8 years old, it was California Screamin', and it was the first coaster I rode with an inversion. And honestly, that's a fun ride. It's a long and pretty solid layout for like a Disney coaster. So it's really a lot of fun. Only thing is, it is a very rattly, but I mean, I guess that makes sense given that it's a 24-year-old Intamin coaster. Otherwise, like it's a fun ride and I really enjoy it. I think it's cool how like it was my first coaster with an inversion and is significant to me in that way. But what do you think of that? Because this is your first
I loved
time.
it. I love the concept. I love how fast it was. The only thing I would say was a little interesting was how rickety it was.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I still loved the ride. It was awesome.
Yeah, it definitely was. It is a lot of fun. Loop's pretty intense, although it is, I think, especially rattly on that loop. But it is overall a fun ride for sure. The park's got this, I think this is a newer area called San Francisco. I believe that's what it's called. Oh yeah, that is what it's called. But it's based off of Big Hero 6, which I haven't seen in a while, but I remember that being a good movie. And that's really cool that they got that in the park. I don't think there's any rides, but it's a cool themed area for sure. Now we're in the Marvel superhero area. I'm hoping to ride both of these rides at some point. I've ridden Cosmic Rewind during my last visit, but I'm still yet to ride Web Slingers. But I think we very much will hit Web Slingers this time, so that'll be exciting for sure. All right, now I'm in line for Web Slingers. This will be not only Ariana's first time riding this, but it will be my first time riding this because I didn't ride this last time I came. I think because it kept like breaking down. It's called Web Slingers. It's a Spider-Man themed ride. So I'm excited for this ride. Are you? All right, let's go.
From Tony Stark, Webb has brought together the world's most brilliant engineers and given them access to cutting-edge resources so that they can create tech that will empower everyday people like you. Tech like me, for example. I'm Sharon, the artificial intelligence that keeps this place organized and running smoothly. Yes, Webb has some of the brightest minds in the
run the
world,
place.
but I keep things around here pretty chill, so the kids can create the next big idea that will give you the tools to become the next generation of heroes.
Alright y'all, just rode Web Slingers for the first time for both of us, and I thought that was a very interesting ride. It's like an interactive dark ride. When you first get in the vehicle, you're kind of reminded of like a newer version of the Spider-Man ride at Universal with like the way the ride vehicles are. But then as you do the ride, it's kind of more like Toy Story Mania at Hollywood Studios, and I think Toy Story Mania is at this park too. It was a cool ride. Only thing is with the gimmick with the web slinging, like with your arms really get sore at the end if you're not prepared for that. Yeah. What were your thoughts on the ride?
I liked it. It was fun. I'm glad that we got to like shoot on the screen.
Yeah.
My arms were
Yeah, so do mine. My arms are pretty sore, but it is a cool experience for sure. All right, about to ride Grizzly River Run. This will be an exciting water ride, and I don't know if I've done this one before, so that'll be exciting. All right, y'all, so we just rode the Grizzly River Rapid ride, I forget what it's called, and that was a fun ride. You can't really avoid getting wet on that one though, particularly because towards the end there's this big water thing that's like just in the middle of the ride, so everyone gets soaked. You cannot avoid it. And there were actually a couple of drops on that ride, the second of which was pretty big, and I think our raft like went spinning like during the drop, which made it even more thrilling. So that was a fun ride for sure. Adiana, what did you think of that ride?
I thought it was fun. We didn't get as wet as I expected us to get, but it just depends on where you're sitting.
Yeah, I thought so for the most part. Yeah, because I've ridden like some other raft rides like Popeyes at Universal Orlando, Islands of Adventure, and that's got to be like the wettest water ride I've ever ridden, or at least not a water park. So yeah, Ariana and I got this like a hot fudge sundae from Ghirardelli. We already took a couple bites out of it, but it looks really good, and so far it tastes really good. Don't you think so? Yeah, so we're gonna eat this while we're in line for a ride that's currently a really long queue, but I don't think it's gonna get any better tonight. We'll be getting in line for Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, which might be my favorite ride here at the park. I'm looking forward to that and looking forward to her getting to experience it for the first time. All right, time to get in this wildly long queue to experience this yet again, because like all the attractions are like pretty long waits right now, and I do want to get this ride accomplished, so I'm just gonna wait it out.
in the galaxy.
You guys found it.
What's the old man?
My friends, you're one step closer to your exciting encounter with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
That'll leave a bud.
You are now standing in my private office,
I know.
where I
Carefully scrutinize each and every beast that comes to me from different parts of the galaxy. Let's mute this guy. Hearing your incessant blathering on a constant loop was big motivation for me to escape. I go, ouch! Ouch! That was not part of the plan. Why? Of course I escaped. For those of you who have not been paying attention, the name's Rocket, one of the Guardians of the Galaxy, the smart one. Listen up. He's gonna put you on a gantry lift for your tour. I'm gonna sneak on top of your lift and take us all the way to the big old generator control room. I'm gonna blast that thing and destroy all the control systems, which will open up every cage in this freak show and free my friends. Our buddy Mantis is in the getaway ship waiting for my signal, and then we'll be on our merry way. But this plan won't work unless you help. I don't have clearance. My hands don't scan. Yours do. If you raise your hands, I get the clearance and the chaos begins. It's a foolproof plan.
Hello. And are you excited? Yippee, let's go. All right, y'all, we just rode Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, and this might be my favorite ride in the park. It's so fun. I love the way it like launches up and then drops down. It's a lot of fun. I love the theming on it. It's very fun and entertaining for sure. Very thrilling ride if you're at the park. So Ariana, what'd you think on your first ever ride on Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout?
I think that's gonna be in my top 3 of the day.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely is a fun ride. Papa Merritt, do you want to give any thoughts on the ride?
Best ride in the park. Guardian of the Galaxy is always coming through.
For
Rock
sure.
on.
Yeah, that's right. Let's go. All right, y'all. Now I am back at my hotel. I'm at the Disneyland Hotel. I think this is the original like Disneyland California hotel, which is really cool. So anyway, that's gonna conclude my vlog for Disney California Adventure. Overall, I appreciate this Disney park. It's not like one of my favorite Disney parks necessarily, but I think it's cool because it's got some cool rides. I like the concept of it being like kind of California themed. Like I think that's just so interesting for a park. I think it's kind of significant because like coaster that made me a coaster enthusiast, and it was the first coaster I rode with an inversion, which is now Incredicoaster. I mean, I got to ride that today and that was fun. Also, Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout is a really good Disney ride in my opinion, a really good replacement of the former Tower of Terror. Plus I got to ride some new rides such as Web Slingers, and I don't know if I've done the Grizzly like River Rapids ride before, so that was really fun. I'm glad I got to take my girlfriend to her first California Disney park, and she got to experience all these rides for the very first time, so that was really nice. So anyways, that'll be all for this vlog. Tomorrow I will be visiting Disneyland Park, the original. I'm planning on making a vlog for that. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoy this video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and be sure to turn on post notifications to be notified of my newest and latest uploads. We'll see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.